When Raila Amolo Odinga drew his last breath in India on 15 October 2025 at the age of 80, Kenya lost one of its most enduring political figures, a man whose life mirrored the deep struggles, hopes and contradictions of Kenya's history. Born on 7th January 1945 in Siaya County, former Nyanza province, Raila Odinga came into a household already steeped in politics. His father was the late Jaramogi Oginga Odinga, the first vice president of the independent Kenya, and early disagreements between Jaramogi Oginga Odinga and the ruling circle exposed young Raila Odinga to tensions between democratic ideals and political power from an early age. Raila Odinga's educational journey began in mission schools in Nyanza. He later attended Maranda High School, one of the most prestigious schools in the region. In the mid-1960s, he went abroad, first to East Germany, where he studied at the Herder Institute in Leipzig, and later at the Technical University of Magdeburg, where he earned a degree in mechanical engineering in 1970. On his return, Raila Odinga joined the field of academia and business as a lecturer and then in government standardization roles. The political journey of the late Prime Minister Raila Odinga seems to have started in the early 1980s when Kenya was under one-party rule, that was KANU, under the late President Daniel Toroitich Arap Moi. In 1982, following a failed coup attempt by the junior Kenya Air Force officers led by Ezekiel Ochuka, Raila Odinga was accused as one of the coup plotters. Although he denied plotting the coup, Raila Odinga was jailed without trial under harsh conditions, spending some 6 years in prison. Later, total detention over various periods, amounting to almost 9 years. These years of imprisonment led Raila Odinga to appear as a symbol of resistance. Upon his release, the early 1990s saw Raila Odinga in the front line of efforts to end single-party system in Kenya. Together with others, he was instrumental in pressure that brought about the repeal of the Section 2A of the Constitution in 1991, restoring multi-party democracy in Kenya. Following the repealing of the Section 2A of the Constitution in 1991, which brought about the multi-party democracy, Raila Odinga first entered into parliament in 1992, representing Langata constituency under Ford Kenya, a party born out of the pro-democracy movement. Over the subsequent years, his political journey involved several shifts, from Ford to forming or joining other political parties, such as the National Development Party (NDP), alliances, breakups, sometimes merging with KANU, the ruling party, or sometimes opposing it. That was Raila Odinga for you. Raila Odinga joined KANU in 2001 after a surprise alliance with President Daniel Toroitich Arap Moi, his former adversary. This move was sparked by a meeting between the two leaders after the 1997 elections, where Odinga came in third place. They signed a memorandum of understanding for political cooperation, paving the way for Odinga's National Development Party (NDP) to merge with KANU. As a result, the perk of the deal, Odinga became the Minister for Energy in Moi's government and later the KANU Secretary General. However, this alliance was short-lived, ending in August 2002 when Moi endorsed Uhuru Kenyatta, the son of the first President of Kenya, Jomo Kenyatta, as his preferred successor, prompting Raila Odinga to lead a mass exodus from KANU. In August 2002, Raila Odinga resigned as KANU's Secretary General and led a mass exodus of key political figures from the ruling party. They formed the Liberal Democratic Party (LDP), which later joined forces with other political parties to form the National Rainbow Coalition (NAC). The NAC coalition, led by the late President Mwai Kibaki, went on to win the 2002 general elections, ending the KANU's 40-year grip on power. The fallout between President Daniel Toroitich Arap Moi and Raila Odinga marked a significant political turning point. It not only defined the trajectory of Odinga's career, but also shaped the country's political landscape. Odinga's ability to mobilize mass support and build a formidable coalitions has made him a dominant force since then. After the National Rainbow Coalition formed the government in 2002, Kenyans had high hopes for a new era of reforms and developments. Led by President Mwai Kibaki, the NARC government promised to address the country's many challenges, including poverty, corruption, and infrastructural decay. The NARC government got off to a promising start, with Kibaki's administration implementing key policies and reforms. Raila Odinga, then a key member of the NARC government, played a crucial role in mobilizing support for the administration. However, cracks soon began to appear in the coalition, particularly over the issues of power sharing and constitutional reforms. Feeling betrayed by the NARC government, Raila Odinga and other like-minded political leaders in 2005 formed the Orange Democratic Movement (ODM) as a coalition of anti-government forces. The ODM was formally registered as a political party in 2006, with Odinga as its leader. The party's formation marked a significant shift in Kenya's political landscape, as Odinga positioned himself as a champion of reforms and opposition to Kibaki's administration. Do you remember the famous Pentagon? Yes, the Pentagon, a group of ODM leaders, including Raila Odinga, Kalonzo Musyoka, Charity Ngilu, Musalia Mudavadi, and William Ruto, was formed to spearhead the ODM's campaigns and push for constitutional reforms. Although the group's formation was seen as a strategic move to unite ODM's leadership, it ultimately faced challenges in maintaining the cohesion among the members. The rift between President Mwai Kibaki and Raila Odinga widened during the 2005 constitutional referendum, when Odinga's ODM led the No campaign, arguing that the draft constitution did not go far enough in devolving power. The No side won the referendum, and Kibaki subsequently dropped Odinga and other ODM ministers from the cabinet. The aftermath of the referendum saw significant shift in Kenya's political landscape. Odinga's ODM became increasingly opposed to government, and he began to position himself as a champion of reforms and opposition to Kibaki's administration. During his lifetime, Raila Odinga contested for Kenya's presidency at least 5 times in 1997, 2007, 2013, 2017, and recently in 2022. His 2007 campaigns was perhaps the most consequential one. The election was disputed, voting results were heavily challenged, ethnic violence followed. Over 1,000 people died, hundreds of thousands displaced. To calm the crisis, a power-sharing deal was brokered, and in 2008, Raila became the second prime minister in Kenya, only to the late President Jomo Kenyatta. The position was created as part of the new coalition government under the presidency of Mwai Kibaki. During his tenure as the prime minister in 2008 and 2013, one of his durable legacies was working toward the eventual adoption of the new constitution, which eventually took place in 2010. The constitution deepened devolution, expanded checks and balances, and reconstructed many aspects of governance to reduce centralized power. Though Raila Odinga never succeeded in winning the presidency, his influence shaped the Kenya's political architecture. His campaigns forced national conversations on justice, electoral reforms, transparency, ethnic inclusion, and the broader promise of democracy. Kenya adopted its new constitution in 2010, which devolved power to counties and established stronger checks and balances on the presidency. Raila Odinga's party was instrumental in shaping the new constitution. In 2013, Raila Odinga ran for the presidency under the Coalition for Reforms and Democracy banner, CORD, but lost to then Deputy Prime Minister Uhuru Kenyatta. Odinga disputed the results, claiming electoral fraud, but the Supreme Court of Kenya under the judge, Dr. Willy Mutunga, upheld Kenyatta's victory. The 2017 presidential elections was marked by controversy, with Odinga's petition against Kenyatta's victory being upheld by the Supreme Court under the then judge, Dr. David Maraga. The court annulled the elections, but Raila boycotted the rerun, citing a lack of electoral reforms. In a surprise move, Odinga and Kenyatta struck a deal known as the handshake in 2018, which brought a measure of stability to the country. In 2022, Raila Odinga, for the fifth time, ran for the presidency again, this time under the Azimio la Umoja banner. Despite a fierce campaign, he lost to the then Deputy President William Ruto, who garnered 50.5% of the total votes cast. Odinga disputed the results, but this time, the Supreme Court upheld President Ruto's win. Despite losing the presidency for the fifth time in 2022, he made another move in 2025, this time entering into a pact with the government of President William Ruto to address various issues like the electoral justice, youth unemployment, among others. On 15 October 2025, Kenya received the saddest news of its history. Raila had died in Kerala, India, where he had gone for treatment. The cause was cardiac arrest during a morning walk. His death was met with immediate national grief. President, other leaders, and ordinary citizens paid tribute. His passing triggered public mourning at airports, at government buildings in various parts of the country, homes, and ordinary Kenyans. Raila Odinga's profound impact on Kenya's political landscape will be remembered for generations to come. A champion of the people, he tirelessly advocated for the democracy, justice, and unity, leaving behind a legacy that transcends time. His unwavering commitment to the people and his unshakable resolve in the face of adversity inspired our nation and continues to shape the country's trajectory. As Kenya moves forward, Raila Odinga's spirit of service, leadership, and patriotism will remain an enduring testament to his life and work. Rest in peace, Jacom. Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga. My name's Evans Mayo, Gladys Dos Santos, and this is GTV Kenya.